to the Self-Made Book Channel. I'm Bianca.
And I'm Byron.
Today, Byron,
Yes.
I want to talk about an important topic. The topic is all drip, no investment. I tell you why this is a topic, right? So since being here in Dubai, I've seen and not just Dubai actually, across Instagram and Dubai, I see a lot of people with like serious designer clothes and accessories. And I know we've talked about this before in some of our other videos, but I guess what concerns me is the more I speak
Concerns?
Concerns.
Go on.
The more people I see on Instagram, the more people I speak to who have all of this drip on, sometimes you're like, oh wow, like it's impressive. Like it's impressive to me. I'm like, wow, got a lot of drip. Like, you know, sorry, for anyone who's watching, like, what is she talking about? So drip being like a colloquialism for designer wear, diamonds, jewelry, bags, you know, that, everything. Was that a good definition?
Fair enough.
Did that work for you? Anywho, so you know, you see it online and you can see them in person and you're like, this is, yeah. And some of the stuff I've seen them in, I'm like, that's quite nice actually. So I go online, I'm like, I might get that, and I see the price, I'm like, woo, that's a lot of money for that product. And I'm okay with spending money on designer stuff. I don't have an issue with it per se. But my concern is when there's no, like, they've not invested in anything else other than those items. So that's it. It's not a statement. It's a discussion piece. I feel like, you know, at the end of an exam,
I'll take that
when they say, what do they say at the end of an exam? Like, explore.
Yeah.
You know, when they ask you exam question, they say explore. Sarah has lots of drip, but no investment. Explore.
Explore. Yeah, do you know what? I'm kind of two minds in two places on this. First of all, I recognize what you're saying, and I see this all the time. And this happens, I see this in many ways. So first of all, I see people who, you know, online who are dressing a certain way, wearing certain things, driving certain cars, and then they come to me and say, Byron, can you assist me with my credit file because this default, this CCJ, no. That don't really make sense.
I don't know. You couldn't have those defaults from a younger age when you were less.
Not if it was very recent.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Sure.
So okay, fine. We make mistakes when we're younger. Cool. That's the first element of that. Cool, I understand. But then the other side of it is, I see people always come to me and they say, I'm not even gonna go. Well, I'm just gonna simply say I do find it surprising. But when I see people,
you find what surprising?
Like the amount of money they spend on, how do you call it, drip, when you haven't got certain assets or certain things in place. So I did find it really surprising, but part of me now feels like, and what I mean by that is you haven't got your own home, you don't own a car, you don't like have any investments, but you've got thousands of pounds.
You're not investing in yourself even?
You're not investing in yourself, you've got thousands of pounds in you know, these material goods, right?
Yeah.
And you haven't even invested in some of the companies you're buying product from, like, come on. So, in a sense of stocks and shares, etc., right? Mm-hmm. But then on the flip side of it is, like, you don't know sometimes the pain and the struggle some people have been through. I'm not justifying it, but if that's what gives them value and makes them happy, then who are we to judge them on that?
So I'm not, okay, fine, fair point.
So that's my argument, because, and I take that from Meek Mill, you know?
Meek Mill.
Because, you know,
insert relevant Meek Mill.
Yeah, insert relevant Meek Mill quote. And he talks about, you know,
the diamonds help him take the pain away.
No, the diamonds give him confidence.
Oh, that's it.
And don't judge him if he ain't been through the things that he's been through.
That's it, that's the lyric.
So you know what? Everyone's been through various things in their life, various traumas in their life, right? So if that makes them happy to go and buy something.
No, but hold on. I'm not. I want to be clear.
To add to that, just to add to that, right? When I posted the other day about getting these Yeezys, yeah, these Adidas Yeezys, and they're like £300, £300 to £400, right? And I was like, the grey one or the black one. Do you know how many people DM'd me who got no business buying some designer
DM'd
goods.
you to say what?
Oh,
Buy
yeah,
it?
They hold their value like this, that they know so much about that particular trainer. How do you know so much about this?
Well, you could be a trainer fanatic.
Nah, that's not the reason.
Well, how do you know?
But
You said don't judge people.
Okay, it's not the reason, right? But okay, let's just say they are a trainer fanatic. Why didn't you become a financially,
A trainer reseller.
No, but just be educated in more than just the value of the Yeezy. Like, let's understand about other investments, opportunities to the level in which you understand about the Yeezy.
Yeah, but they might have that knowledge of streetwear as a whole.
I already know they don't.
Oh, okay. Well, that's you talking about a specific person.
People.
My statement, and I want to be clear, I'm not judging people because you kind of made it sound like I was being judgy. I'm not I'm not casting judgment. I have no.
They're
I'm not in any
the little
position.
Piece of it, and then that's enough for the internet.
What? Bianca judges people.
Yeah.
Right, cool. I'm not judging you out there. What I'm saying is, I just don't want, as much as what you've said is interesting, you can't judge that. Maybe that helps them with their confidence or taking the pain away and all that stuff. I agree. Fundamentally fine, that's fine. But what I'm saying is, that isn't the way of taking the pain away, I don't feel. I feel Meek Mill is in a privileged position to make that sort of statement because he is a multi-millionaire. If you're not a multi-millionaire, but your appearance is as though you are, or or you've got a certain amount of money, but you haven't considered the foundations or how to make additional money on your investment, that's where I'm concerned. And I feel like sometimes the pressure, external pressure of seeing everyone online with all of this stuff can make you feel like you want to be a part of that life, and then you spend your last shillings or shekels on that item that actually doesn't add any value to your life. It makes you feel good for that moment or for those pictures, but Instagram and social media being the fluid concept that it is, you now need to get another one because people have seen you in that pair already.
Do you know what's
So
interesting?
you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, but you haven't. What you don't realize is some of the people who have all of these items, the reason they're able to buy those items is because they've invested their money somewhere and they've used that profit to buy those products. So they are living a different lifestyle to you, but you're trying to buy it to keep up with them, but you don't realize that they've invested and they've taken their profit to make that to make that item, to buy that item to make themselves feel good or whatever. You can't just keep buying to make yourself feel good. It's not going to work long term.
It's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Appreciate you.
So I think just talking about it from a personal perspective, I've been investing in property 10, 15 years plus, like 14 years if we're being really, picky. I've been running businesses for years, successful, unsuccessful, and some. Had disposable income for some time, investing back into my business and my projects and stuff. And really, only the last couple of years have I really bought what's determined as drip, I feel. And there's a distinct difference now how I shop and what I buy compared to before. Whilst before I could have bought it,
Yeah.
but I just couldn't. Mentally, emotionally, whatever.
Is that
it
a
was.
matter of priorities, or is that a matter of you worked so hard for it you couldn't part with it? What was your reasoning?
I think.
Or you didn't have any value to you?
I think as time is going on, there are less things that I can do with my money, in a sense of the amount of money I'm earning and making, both independently and jointly. That I can only have so many homes to one here, one in the UK. There's only so much I can, so many things I can invest in that bring any sensible value, so many property, etc., right? So therefore, there's disposable income at the end of the month, quarter, etc., from other projects I'm doing.
Sure.
So okay, you know what? I can spend £300 or £500 or £1,000 on that particular item because. Like my next payday is 2 days away.
Yeah, sure.
3 days away.
Sure.
So
you invested first in the foundations, and now you
and it wasn't.
reap the
I don't know if it was
rewards
a conscious decision or not, but it just happened like.
Can I say though, in defense of everyone now, and not in an illustration of how old you are, but you didn't have Instagram and the pressures of social media then, and I think that's an additional pressure
Okay.
You had pressure maybe from your group, or your, maybe the circle you had, maybe they had all that stuff, or they didn't. Like, did your circle, did they wear lots of designer goods?
No, but they
Were they investing instead?
Hold on, let me answer that first. They were aware of certain things and they bought certain things, yes. And I always used to be like, science. I mentioned this before. When I was in college, one of the guys, the older guys who everybody respected, looked up to, and so on, he wear his big Avrex and got on the bus, and now my mind couldn't understand that because I was like, woof. Like back in the day, I don't know if it's still cool now, but back in the day, an Avrex, if you had an Avrex jacket, you were the man.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was like a £600-700, whatever it was, leather jacket, right? But for me, I was like, cool. Like, I'll be taking it off before I sit down. Like,
why can he go Avrex get on the bus?
I bought a car. My car was only £1,500. I bought it from auction, right? But that's like 50% of the cost of that jacket, you can spend. So I don't know priorities, but I always had friends who were buying designer stuff, and I was like, that's like cool. I remember one of my close friends. Years ago, we went to Covent Garden, and he went and bought a V-suit, the jeans.
Those are big too.
Woo!
Remember those?
And I was like, my mind first of all couldn't understand the cost of the jeans, right? I was like, and we were too young to really appreciate that what he was spending was a serious amount of money, even to this day, right? And I didn't really think about it because I wasn't in a position to buy it. I didn't really think about it. But so my point is anyway that my friends in circle, they've always been kind of trendy. They always knew about fashion.
Yeah.
They would buy 1 or 2 pieces. I wasn't really, apart from sportswear, I was more sportswear. I would just have sportswear.
Sure.
Not this kind of exclusive designer items. And I guess now as I'm getting older, I'm going through transition. First of all, it's designer. Then I'm like, no, I really want more bespoke pieces than the designer, because everyone's got the designer. If you go to some of the hotels here and you sit there for a day on the beach, you count how many times people walk past in that particular trainer or bag or whatever.
Sure.
So I'm now more like bespoke pieces, and as I've mentioned on social, my favorite brand is fast becoming Goyard. That's my brand of choice at the moment. I think I want anything that moves Goyard, and
Ain't that the truth?
And that the truth, I want it, every wallet in every color.
I've noticed.
Every, and nobody really knows. If you know, it's okay. That's it. I'm alright with that. And it's a price point that's not too. It's not
accessible.
It's not. I'll take that back. It's not that it's a price point that's too accessible. The product is not accessible.
Yeah, fair enough.
Easily.
Yeah. Which makes it have a value, more desirable.
So yeah.
So there's two analogies, right? That when we were talking about this. So this was a conversation Brian and I was having anyway, and we were like, let's talk about it properly. So we just stopped talking and then decided to record.
She got notes.
Yeah. No, well, just 2. So 1, I don't know where I heard this, but if you can't buy it twice in cash, can you even afford it? Was the question.
Okay.
I want to put it out to you. Thoughts?
I don't know if that's a good test, but I appreciate the test.
Yeah, I wasn't
sure.
But
I don't know if it works for the word drip, but I think it works for some of the bigger items, like for example cars. So many people always want to aspire to having these big luxury cars, and it's using majority of their income or their bottom line, their money in their
I don't
bank,
know if it does reference cars, because I think you wouldn't
It's a
necessarily
bigger
buy a
purchase.
car cash.
No, some people do.
No, I know, but I'm saying that doesn't mean you can't not afford it if you can't. I feel like smaller items.
So the theory of what you're saying there is, if you can't buy it twice, don't buy it. So.
I feel like a car though is. Yeah, okay, fine. So a car.
I'm just trying to say what you're
my point is, a car. I don't think it works for bigger items. For example, a house. You wouldn't say if you couldn't buy that house twice in cash, you couldn't afford it, because you would expect, or it would be acceptable for it to be mortgaged for 25 years. So it wouldn't work for that analogy. I think it works for smaller products.
Maybe the multiple's wrong then. I think it needs to be, if you can't buy it 10 times or something, because I think most people can afford to buy that item once, because that's what's in their bank.
I don't know, because then it leads me to my second quote, which was from Tiffany Haddish, right? I was watching her comedy show.
Yeah, go on.
And she said, if you can't put the equivalent into your handbag in cash, why are you even buying the bag?
Woo, child.
So which goes back to the same quote, which is...
Now
if-
that
if
is
you use
interesting
it-
because
if
you bought a big bag with the last
That's
amount,
what I'm
but that's something they can
saying.
afford to buy the bag, right? But they couldn't afford.
No, but
to...
that goes back to the first quote.
Okay,
If
yeah,
you
no, I'm
can't buy
feeling
it
you.
twice in cash,
Okay,
can you
I'm
afford
feeling
it?
you, I'm feeling
And
you.
hers is if you can't put the equivalent in your bag in cash,
No, I like
why are you
that.
buying the bag?
I like that.
So I think that goes
What's
to the
her name?
same Tiffany Haddish.
Who's that?
Oh, that's awkward. Comedian.
Which one?
What do you mean? What do you want me to
Well,
do?
wait, give me something that.
She was on Girls Trip, the movie, which you've pretend you've not watched.
Yeah, maybe I'm trying to still live that.
You're trying to pretend, and it's okay. No one believes you, but it's fine.
Yeah, do you know what? I feel that because I know sometimes you spend all that money on that wallet and you can't put no money in that wallet, right?
So it's the same analogy, isn't
yeah,
it?
I feel you there.
Because if you bought that handbag, let's say it's $2,500 for this handbag, but you haven't got $2,500 liquid, why are you buying the bag? And that's the same thing, right? It's a handbag analogy anyway. It always works for handbags. I don't think it works for cars, but it works for every other like jewelry and.
Yeah, I feel you. All right, cool. What do you guys think? How do you feel about the new era of social media and?
Is it affecting your choices?
Social media is a big lie. Instagram's a big lie.
But it's not always a lie. This is the other problem. People now have got a warped sense of what is a lie, what isn't a lie, and they can't distinguish between who is actually living their life and who isn't. And it's difficult to distinguish for anyone. It's not just but it's impactful on younger minds or people who don't know any better.
I'm going to end this today with a quote from one of my very, 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 very good friends,
Here goes.
Julian. And he says, "Stay in your lane." And he always used to say, "I know how to stay in my lane." Sometimes we used to go out or certain things, be like, you know what? That's not for me. I'm gonna stay in my lane. Yeah? And I'm gonna tell my children that and my grandchildren that. Listen, child, stay in your lane. Because you can't live this lifestyle. It's not
sustainable.
It's not necessary, right? Anyway, guys, let us know what you think and let us know.
And comment, subscribe
Yeah.
below.
If you watch this and you don't share with somebody or like and comment. Anyway, I'm Byron.
And I'm Bianca.
Self-made.
It's success.
Take care.
Bye.